This shit got me leaning over. I pour full purple and some peach soda. You a friend of off, I'm in the blow. He was on the phone with him, so the more they get, he ain't even know. I ain't even trying to. You wanna glow up, baby, Keith got you. Use the gold dollar.
What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about a very serious topic. I know that a lot of you, if you haven't seen it by now, that clip I just played where the girl was streaming on Facebook Live and they were ambushed by a couple of gang members. Now, allegedly, I don't know if these guys were gang members or not, but as you can see, they were just riding a car and these shots just began to ring out. Now, the reason I want to talk about this subject is because I don't want to touch on, how much violence is going on in Chicago, how much violence is going on in the black neighborhood. What happens here in our country, and especially in Chicago, is just a small fraction of what happens around the world. But with us being here in America and living in America, and some of us are black, we see it a lot. It's nothing new. These are the stories that we hear about. But now, due to social media and all of these other outlets, we now have a first-hand look or a front row seat to what actually is going on out here in some of these black neighborhoods. Basically, what I want to talk about is I want to get people to thinking about how short this life is. This life is very short. And every day, I'm even guilty of it myself. We wake up, we just start to do things normal. And you look at this, you look at this young girl and this guy and this 2-year-old who was in the back seat. So let me go ahead and just stop right there and let me explain to you guys what you saw in the clip. If you haven't already heard, apparently there was a girl and her nephew, allegedly, who was in the back. And then there was some guy, allegedly this guy was her boyfriend. Don't know what her relationship was with this guy, but all three of them were in a car riding around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And they was just driving, just a normal activity during the middle of the day. It's just 1 p.m. Kids are getting ready to get out of school. People are on lunch break, stuff like that. And some guys ambush them, shoot them. They kill the toddler and they kill the guy, but they also shot her in the stomach. But she survived. She was able to get away. And I didn't want to play the full thing. There are people who have the full video. I watched the whole video in its entirety, but I didn't want to put the whole video here because I didn't really want to talk about that subject. But apparently the story is that the guy was a part of a gang. So I don't know. Allegedly he was a part of a gang. That hasn't been confirmed. And allegedly some guys followed them. I guess they were after the guy, and when they were trying to kill the guy, they ended up killing the 2-year-old as well. But what I wanted to talk about was, a lot of times we're so arrogant, and me included. We make these plans and we never think about, are we going to make it home? We wake up in the morning, do all of the normal stuff. Brush our teeth, take showers, get dressed, go to work, or go out and just do our daily activities. Make YouTube videos, plan on making YouTube videos to talk about certain subjects, and we never think that this could be our last day. Now, I'm not saying that you should walk around all day basically worrying about whether or not you're going to live or die that day. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. But what you have to understand that there is a purpose in life. There's a purpose. It's not just living it up and just trying to be the best person you can be for society or whatever the world tells you. But you have to think about, what if this is my last day? And if I die, what happens when I die? What happens when I die? A lot of people don't think about that. And every time someone dies, I always have this thought, like, was this person saved? Because people don't understand that when you die, that's it. There is no second chance. There is no purgatory. You don't get any do-overs. It's not like, God looks at you and then he says, hey, you got some good and then you got some bad. I can't really make a decision, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to send you back on earth. I'm going to go ahead and rewind maybe about a week, before you die. I'm going to rewind you back to that point, and you know what you know now. I want you to go ahead and try to make your life right, so therefore you can spend eternity with me. God doesn't operate like that. I mean, this is your only shot at having an eternal life. And a lot of times, us who live in these areas, or who have lived in these areas where violence is prominent. I mean, walking down the street is, you're walking on eggshells. I mean, especially over in Chicago, any time of the day, your life could be ended because of the violence that's going on. I'm not saying that, it is one of those places where shootings are happening all the time, but it's happening a lot more often than in some other places. But, like I said, my main point is I want you to think about where are you going to spend your eternity? Is it going to be with God, or is it going to be separate? And if it's with God, then are you following the Lord's commandments? And I want you to think about that. Are you living the life that Christ has commanded us to live? Or are you just saying, yeah, I'm a Christian, I'm saved by grace through faith, and I got baptized when I was younger, and now I'm covered in the blood, whatever your excuse is. But are you actually reading the Word and understanding the Word? Because Jesus says, listen, there's going to be so many people who are going to spend eternity separate from Him, and there's only going to be a select few who are going to spend eternity with Him. I know some of you have heard that growing up. That's not changing. Hasn't changed. The words of the Bible haven't changed. People have watered down the message, but it hasn't changed. So I want you to think about that. When you walk outside today, or any other day, I want you to think about, if you were to die, would you be in the presence of God, or would you live a godless eternity separate from Him? As always, guys, this is Alton. Like, rate, share, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a blessed day.